Hello and welcome back to Sci-Fi Tech. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make an 8x8 LED matrix box or lantern with using a few simple parts, such as an 8x8 LED matrix, some cardboard, and an Arduino Nano. Let's get started. And these are the items you're going to need to make for this project. The items you're going to need: two 8x8 LED matrix, which uses an HT16K33 microcontroller. And you're also going to need an 8-pin IC socket holder, a 9-volt battery clip, a 9-volt battery, a slide switch, an Arduino Nano, and a Neodymium magnet. Now let's go down and assemble this project and let's get started. First, I'm going to take the Arduino Nano and I'm going to take these wires and I want to connect it to the correct pins. I'm going to take the red wire and connect it to 5 volts, solder it into place, cut off the excess, take this black wire and connect it to ground, solder it into place, take this green wire and connect it to A4 or analog 4, solder it into place, and now take the yellow wire and connect it to analog 5, solder it into place, cut off the excess, and there it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to take 4 more wires of the same colors and I'm going to connect the same colors together. First, I'm going to start with the yellow wire and connect it to the other yellow wire. Take the 2 wires, bend them together, twist them together. Since these wires are already solder tinned, I'm going to go ahead and melt the solder so that way they stay together better. And there it should look just like this. And I'll repeat the same process with the other wires. Next, I'm going to take the 8-pin IC socket holder, and what I need to do is modify it. What I want to do is take these wires and connect it to it, since these 8-pin IC socket holders are going to connect to each of these pins that are on the 8x8 LED matrix. But what I need to do is modify the 8-pin IC socket holder by cutting it in half. Before I do that, I need a solder tin it. And there we go, solder tin just like this. And then I'm going to take these flush cutters and simply cut it in half. Cutting in half will give me 2 of these 4-pin connectors, which will connect to the 8x8 LED matrix. There we go, cut in half just like this. Clean it up a little bit. And there, now I can take these 2 4-pin connectors and then connect it to the 8x8 LED matrix. And now I can take these wires and connect them to the 4-pin connectors. This yellow wire connects to SCL. And this yellow wire is connected to A5 or analog 5. Solder it into place. Next, take the green wire that's connected to A4 and connect it to the SDA. Solder it into place. Next, connect ground to ground, 5 volts to VCC. And now repeat the same process by connecting the same wires to the same pins. And it should look just like this when complete. Next, I'm going to take the 9-volt battery clip and I'm going to connect the negative wire over to ground. Solder it into place. And I'll take the positive wire and connect it to VIN or voltage input. Solder it into place. And there, the circuit is now complete. Let's go test it out. Take the 9-volt battery, connect it to the 9-volt battery clip, and instantly it turns on. And as you can see, it works. Later on, I'll take the slide switch and connect it to the positive wire. Do that after I build the housing. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue and put it onto the Arduino Nano. Take the Neodymium magnet and put it into the glue. Doing this will allow me to take the Arduino Nano and connect it to the housing, connecting to another magnet. And there, it should look just like this. And this right here is the housing for this project. As you can see, I've already cut out all the pieces that I need. The face of the box and lantern, which looks very nice. And I also have these side pieces and top pieces. This right here is the stem, and these right here are the leaves that'll connect to the stem. First idea for this project, I've decided that I want to make a battery door, making it the same size as the 9-volt battery, so that way I could be able to change the battery. But later on, I realized this wasn't necessary, so just watching this can be an optional idea if this is what you decide. But obviously, I'm doing this, and I later on realized that this was not necessary. You'll see why. Now, as you can see, I connected the back panel to the bottom panel, and I'm going to show you how I did this. I'm going to take some hot glue and go all the way along the side, just like this. And there, the glue should look just like this. Next, I'm going to take the side panel and put it into the glue, making sure that it stands up in a perfect 90-degree angle. Place it in carefully, and now take some more hot glue and go along the side, and do it on the inside, so that way you have the glue that's only facing the inside of the housing, so that way the glue is not placed on the outside, which will then make it look nicer. Put a generous amount going across like this, so that way you can be able to connect the two pieces together. Hold it together and wait for the glue to solidify. And now repeat the same process going the opposite direction. And there, it should look just like this. And now repeat the same process on the opposite side. And there, it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to take the front of the box lantern, and as you can see, I have all these lines that are measured out. This is how I made it perfectly symmetrical. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 8x8 LED matrix and place it over the eyes of the box lantern. I want to make sure that I place it perfectly centered, so that way the LED light can be perfectly round inside. So what I want to do first is put the battery into the circuit, turn it on, so that way I can see the LED lights shine through the housing properly, so that way I can properly align it. Make sure it's aligned properly. This one looks good. The other side I have to fix later. So what I want to do is do some slight adjustments. Press it down firmly so that way it stays in place. And then take a very small amount of hot glue, enough to be able to stick the two parts together, so that way the LED matrix doesn't move. Put a small amount just like this. Rub it off a little, but enough to make it stick together. There, as you can see, it stayed in place. And now take a generous amount of hot glue and place it on the bottom of the 8x8 LED matrix. Put some on that side, and then some on the opposite side. And now wait for it to solidify, and as you can see, it holds into place. Now repeat the same process on the opposite side, and it should look just like this. And as you can see, it's nice and strong. Next, I'm going to take the ink pen and put a generous amount of ink onto the Neodymium magnet. Make sure it's nice and wet. Figure out where the Arduino Nano is going to go. Place it firmly and press against the cardboard. And as you can see, that's where I need to put some glue. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue and place it onto that dot. Take another neodymium magnet, place it into the glue. Hold it in firmly so it stays in place. And there, as you can see, it is glued into place. And now I can take the Arduino Nano and it will stay in place. Sticks together and it stays like that. So that way I can be able to keep the Arduino Nano hidden. I'm going to go ahead and measure where the wire is going to be. And this is where I need to cut the wire. Next, take the box lantern face and place it into the main housing. Put it into place just like this. Make sure that the positive wire is sticking out. Doing this will help me figure out where I need to put the slide switch. Simply cut the cardboard to make the same size as the slide switch. And there we go, it should look just like this. And now cut off the excess cardboard. Cut it off just like this. And there, the slide switch can go right there. Next, remove the insulation on the positive wires. Next, solder in the slide switch. And now solder in the positive wires. Next, take some hot glue and put it on the sides of the box lantern. Do this very quickly so the hot glue stays hot. And now take the front part of the box lantern and put it into place. And there, it is now glued into place. And I'll take the positive wires from the 9-volt battery clip and from the circuit and place it through this hole. Next, take the slide switch and solder it to the positive wires. Solder it into place, just like this. And there, now I can turn the circuit on and off. Next, take the slide switch, put a little bit of hot glue to insulate those wires and to hold the wires in even better. And it will also help glue the switch into place. Take a little bit of hot glue and place it on the side of the slide switch. Just takes a small amount, press it down, and wait for it to solidify. And there, the slide switch is now glued into place. And I'll take the Arduino Nano and connect it to the Neodymium magnet. And there, it is now put into place. And I'll take the 9-volt battery and connect it to the circuit. And there, as you can see, turning the switch on and off works. And now as you can see what I've said earlier, this battery part is clearly not necessary. It would have been a good idea if it was necessary, but I don't need it. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue and glue it into place. And then that way it stays in place just like this. Next I'm going to go and take some hot glue and glue down the stem and place it onto the top of the housing. Place it right here, perfectly in the center, or close enough to the center. Glued into place, and I'll take the leaves and connect it to the stem. Put a little bit of glue, just like this. And now glue it to the stem. Repeat the same process with the other leaves. And there, it should look just like this. And there, the project is now complete. Take the top and put it on, and as you can see, I can take the top on and off, and I can place stuff inside, maybe some cookies or candy or whatever you want inside. Close it up, and it'll look like this. And now it's time to test it out. Let's see how this looks. Take the switch and turn it on. And there, as you can see, this looks amazing. You can see that the eyes animate perfectly, looking in all different directions. And I can take the top, move it, put stuff inside, or take stuff outside while it's still operating, which looks very cool. And there you have it. Now you know how to make your very own 8x8 LED matrix box lantern with using a few simple parts, such as some cardboard, 8x8 LED matrix, and an Arduino Nano. Thank you for watching SciTech Tech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and of course click on the bell icon to be notified of future SciTech Tech videos. Till the next tech, goodbye, and happy Halloween!